It's time.
It's time.
And now, it's time for Herman and Sharron.
I love you. Where's my
Hello.
whistle? And that's it. Okay.
You can't move without the whistle.
Linda Brown always whistles, and all she said was, "Okay, you're ready," and I missed the whistle.
Oh.
There you go. Love that. You know, the other day I was you were walking, and I was trying to get your attention because I was heading for the beach to go jogging, and I'm trying to whistle, and I could not whistle.
Try it now. Well, if it was that soft, there's no way I would have heard it. That's for sure.
But I could whistle. I used to be able to whistle like that, but my whistle has disappeared.
He's lost his whistle. I'm sorry. Yeah, I know. I am too.
But you've got it, so I don't need it. We have a guy that we have had the privilege of having
it's
before.
hard to get him to talk. That's the only problem, having him on.
Well, you know, you could always watch. If I have guests more than once, tag on to them.
He's full of information.
They're good.
I like what he has to say.
Yeah, this guy is definitely knows what he's
What's
talking
the guy's
about.
name?
David J. Foreman.
That's his name.
He is a registered, Sharron, what?
Pharmacist, and also a radio host. That's why he knows how to talk right there.
Yeah, and I was in radio for a while. I love it.
Known to audiences nationwide as the herbal pharmacist, or herbal, whichever way you want to say it. He's speaker at leading universities, medical groups, and hospitals on the subject of natural health and healing, which we're all interested in. So call your friends and neighbors, natural health and healing.
And he was able to help our assistant because
Yes,
she needs healing.
He brought some stuff with him, some products with him, and gave them to her. That was nice of him.
And this is his book.
Yes.
And you know what? We were watching Fox this morning.
I knew you were going right to that. Go ahead.
Number one
killer
heart disease.
in this country right now.
That's,
Number one.
I mean, this
I had a cancer.
Today's program.
I had a cancer, heart disease.
Isn't that amazing?
And we're going to find out why right now because he's going to tell us.
This
David.
is the man.
Hey, David.
Hi. True pleasure.
And by the way, all of the stuff you see here, I don't want my. There it is.
No, we don't want to pollute the Bible here with that.
All of this stuff. Now, what I like about this guy, he doesn't have his name on this stuff.
Yeah.
He is just here to tell you that
Well,
he
it
goes
works.
into the store and he buys just like you and I do.
Yeah.
But he directs you so that you don't go in there and ask some clerk and say, I've got this thing going on right here. Do you know what? You have anything can help me right there? And they'll go, well, follow me, right?
Yes.
I mean, they'll take it to something.
And he goes for the least,
These are out of my
try to
cupboard.
save money.
These are things I either use or have used or a family member is using, although I think all of them are sealed today. Sometimes I'll
Now,
go.
how did a pharmacist get involved with natural
All of that
products?
schooling and you go this
Yeah.
direction?
We don't have enough showtime for that answer. No, actually it's funny. They're not that far apart.
Really?
You know, about 30% of the medications we have on the market today came from a plant. So there's
that's true.
I'm not really that far out from where I started.
We did a radio program together, didn't we?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I had you on.
Some time ago, yeah.
Yeah, actually right after
It's
I
all
did
coming
did a
back.
segment.
It's
all
exactly.
coming back. What's that song? It's all coming
back to me.
Well, you know, it's funny because in my show, I preach 4 things. I hate to say preach. Actually, it's probably the perfect show for that.
But you love the Lord.
I love the Lord, and that's part of what I preach. You know, it's diet, exercise, supplements, and spirituality. And I had you on. We were talking about the spirituality part of health. A lot of people do not get the spiritual part of health.
We
And
had a
they-
good time together.
Yeah, well, the problem is neither one of us know how to be quiet, like you were kind of slamming me at the beginning there.
That was not a slam. That's
but-
what we want is people that talk.
But
Okay.
he's a little whacked like me, and get two whacked
Well,
guys
now that's
together.
a slam. See, what he
No,
said
you know
was
what?
a
He's
slam.
confessing it himself, so I'm totally good with it. Because kindred spirit, how's that?
Yeah, there you go. That's better.
What disease kills more Americans?
You said it, heart disease, by far. It was funny
Yeah.
because you thought cancer. Is that what you were
Yep.
saying
Well,
earlier?
I was surprised. Yeah, it wasn't cancer.
1.25 to 1.5 million people will die this year from something having to do with heart disease.
Okay, are you
Wow.
predisposed to have heart disease? Like for example, if my dad had 3 heart attacks before he went to heaven, and my mother had a heart attack, am I pretty in line for heart problems?
That would be a check mark in the risk factor column, definitely.
Yeah.
But I have this philosophy on is it a hereditary thing or is it learned lifestyle?
Okay, what do you mean?
Way to eat
Well,
and everything.
yeah, exactly. In my house, same thing. I have family members that died of heart attacks and such. But, they didn't get much exercise. They didn't eat right. They just didn't live the healthy lifestyle. So was it hereditary that they died from heart attacks, or was it because of their crummy lifestyle that they lived?
You learn to eat like what your parents
Right.
ate.
In my family, they call me anorexic because, it's kind of funny, but, and I'm not slamming on my mom and dad, but they're both significantly overweight, and my dad had a heart
means they're
attack.
really
and,
fat.
Oh, he didn't say that.
No, but in my book, I talk about there's risk factors we can control and not control.
Yeah.
And so you can't focus on the ones you can't control. We're all of the right age that now heart disease is a risk factor. You and I are men, so that's another check mark of something I can't control. So you can't control certain things, but the ones that you can, those are the ones you focus on. Don't smoke, don't be overweight, get more exercise, get stress under control, blood sugar. There's a whole litany of things that we can do to take check marks away.
It's amazing how people have bags of prescription drugs.
It's sick.
And they take out those bags, just like we've got vitamins sitting here. They could, one guy, a neighbor that I call the ambulance for, he had on his kitchen table, it was as big as this, if not bigger. The entire top of it was covered with prescription drugs.
Wow. I was taught in pharmacy school that if you took 6 medications, even if you can throw in over the counter, so even your Tylenols and stuff like that, ibuprofen, whatever, if you took 6 medications, you were guaranteed a 100% chance of a drug interaction.
Wow.
So when you were on 5, it was iffy, but when you added that 6th medication, it was a 100%
that's
chance of a drug
interesting.
interaction.
Wow.
And a lot of people don't realize, like that gentleman you're talking about, I guarantee you that he's not or was not taking his medication even the way he was supposed to.
Well, I'm sure he wasn't because,
And he probably had multiple doctors and they don't communicate anyway.
Yeah.
She insisted that I watch just recently a DVD of, what's the title of it?
Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead. Have you heard about that one?
No.
You go online, you can get that on.
Oh, Netflix. Or
Netflix,
anyway.
okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
I have Netflix, so we're
Okay,
cool.
yeah.
I'm
But
okay with
she
that.
insisted I watch this
Get it
thing.
on Netflix. That's where I got it from.
Well, this guy from Australia, he was killing himself on prescription drugs and plus pretty overweight. And he just went on this juice thing. And he left
For
Australia.
60 days, a juice fast.
And the guy was brilliant because when he started on it, he had cameras following him, probably to give him the desire.
Right.
Because if he was in a hotel room alone, you know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You're not going to do it.
Accountability, right on.
Yes,
Exactly.
Isn't that
yeah.
amazing? But what is amazing is the people that he helped across the country.
Yeah.
It turned into and of course, he was able, and through a doctor's care, by the way. It wasn't something he just decided to do, but he got rid of everyone. He had some reactions to the drugs that he was taking that was killing him. Every one of his prescription drugs he was able to discard.
Yeah.
And all of the people that he helped along the way, same thing.
I'm a firm believer. If you live the lifestyle you were really intended to, no matter what disease you have, you do the right thing long enough, your body will heal itself. That's the way God created us.
Yeah.
He really did, and if you don't believe that, get back into the Word. It's
Yeah.
all right there for you.
Okay, you talk about 4 pillars of health.
You scared me
See,
there.
that's like an old evangelist,
Yeah,
really. Doing the Bible like that.
I was wondering if you were healing my book.
The pillars. Well, okay, we need those, right?
Yeah, all 4, I believe wholeheartedly. To me, they're all equally important. And I give examples of, you can be really good at one pillar and not be good in any of the other 3, and you're just not going to be a healthy individual. The 4 things are diet, which is how you eat. And in my book, I talk about going back
The
to
word diet, though, is like we just had
a four-letter
people.
word.
We just had people move their channel to Fox right now.
Yeah, I know.
I hope it's Fox because that's the only one you want to watch. For goodness sakes, the rest of them are,
Herman,
are
you're getting
propaganda and socialistic.
You're getting
but
off
anyway,
the subject.
I mean, people hate diets.
Yeah, and actually it's funny because what I preach is diet is how you eat. I mean, if you're eating Happy Meals every day, that you're on the Happy Meal diet. So diet is really what you consume for food. Most people hear diet, you're right, their brain shuts off or
Yeah,
they don't, completely.
They say, "I
their
can't
ears
do
close
that."
up, right, exactly. We're not talking about weight loss here. That's a whole other topic for another day. And by the way, the secret on weight loss that no one wants to tell you is that you consume fewer calories than you burn. You put less in here and you move your body more and your weight will go back to
But
where.
that's discipline,
Yeah,
and we do not
I agree.
have discipline.
I agree. That's why I'm a potato chip freak. I love potato chips. So there's none in my house because if they're there, they're gone within 30 minutes.
I'm telling you, pour them on a plate,
Yeah, they're gone.
and I will eat every little chip of them.
I will. I would lick the plate, but it'd be a scene. So yeah, I can totally. So we don't have them in our house.
Yeah.
So diet actually goes back to you could go back all the way to the Old Testament, and I really do believe in following what God told us in the Bible about we really ate whole foods.
Yeah.
We didn't eat a lot of this processed or manipulated foods. Anytime man messes with a food, we mess it up. So go back to eating whole foods. Get rid of those refined and processed foods. A friend of mine taught me years ago, shop for your groceries on the outside of the store, the perimeter, because that's where
right.
all the fresh things are kept.
Isn't that something?
That's right, and he's right. That's exactly right.
Now, you say in your book, the heart pushes the blood through the body. In fact, get your copy. There's the website. Get your copy.
Thank you.
Okay. The heart pushes the blood through the body. You need healthy cardiovascular system. Okay. Now, if you're not eating properly, taking care of yourself, what happens with this blood flow?
You'll end up most likely getting inflammation in your bloodstream, either your veins or your arteries or even your heart. And when you get inflammation, it swells up. So you're going to.
So it's like pussy?
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
It just swells up. And, if you ever, hit your hand really hard or whatever, you'll notice your finger would swell up.
Yeah.
We're getting inflammation inside your blood vessels, and therefore the blood can't flow through the way it would normally. It's sort of restricted. So all the nutrients that you want to get out to every cell in your body can't get there the way it used to. Plus, if you're really not eating the right kinds of foods, the right nutritional things aren't in there to get out to your cells. It'd be like putting sand in your car to have it run. Would you do that?
I don't think so.
No. As a matter of fact, one of my favorite analogies.
I know I would not.
One of my favorite analogies is, if you have an unleaded fuel car, would you put diesel in it? No, because it's not the right fuel for your car. Same thing with your body. We were designed to eat whole foods, not this manipulated, processed garbage that's out there in the stores nowadays. And so that's what we're doing. And that's why you have to eat more of it, because your body's starved for nutrients.
Does gender make a difference?
It does until women go through menopause. Once ladies are done with menopause, they are at equal risk. As a matter of fact,
What age is menopause?
it's when a woman's menstrual flow stops. That would be considered menopause.
Usually in the 50s.
Yeah,
Like
usually-
60s?
Depends. Some women young 40s, other women upper
Yeah.
50s. It's kind of a random thing.
Yeah.
So but once you've been through menopause, ladies, your risk of developing heart disease is the same, or in some cases might be even a little higher than us as men.
Really?
And I think it's all linked back to, there's a strong link between the amount of iron and blood flow in men. Like we usually have we have to be careful about the amount of iron we have. Women don't usually have to worry about that because once a month they're having blood loss from their menstrual cycle. So, but when that stops, they don't have that anymore. And I think that's probably why women kind of catch up to us after menopause. So it's not
that's
really,
when
there's not a,
you started having a lot of problems when you got
Yeah, that's where anything that's going on in your body comes to the surface, I think, is when you go through menopause. Then
Right.
that's when any problems that I started having. I was fine before that.
But
so.
Herman, you know what? You and I we don't have a noticeable thing like a menstrual cycle stopping, but you and I also have andropause. I jokingly call it manopause, haha. But it's the same thing. We have andropause, which is a very similar thing to what women go through. The hormones change, and that's when other bodily functions start to slip and slide as
Next
well.
month I'm going to be 73. What should I do?
I'll
Check out.
tell you what, brother, you look great. You sound great. I wouldn't change a thing,
Did I say
man.
72 or 73?
You said 73.
Okay.
First of all, you don't look that. So whatever you're doing.
Yeah, but everybody says
What's
that.
an old
You know why
saying?
they-
If it ain't broke,
you know
don't
why
fix
they
it.
Say, you know why they say that? Because they want to be your friend. If they actually.
I don't want to be your friend.
Okay. If they actually, can you imagine somebody say 73? Man, you look. I was going to guess 80. Yeah, I mean, it make the guy feel bad, right?
Yeah, right on. That sounds like something you would say.
He knows me pretty well.
Yeah, exactly.
Your book says blacks and Mexican Americans have cardiovascular disease more than whites.
Yes, I'm not.
What's with that?
That's a genetic thing partially, and then the other thing is culturally. If you really want to dig down deep, culturally, people that are from that heritage did not eat the way they eat here. So if you go back to, if you say you are truly a black person from Africa, their diet was very little in meat, mostly grains, and then you come.
Okay,
so your body was wired, so to speak, over centuries to eat mostly grains.
But if they were born here with parents, does that pass along to them? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, exactly. Just generation after generation after generation. Because there are cultures go on the flip side. Eskimos eat a diet high in meat and fat, yet they have a really low incidence of heart disease, unless they've incorporated our processed refined food kind of diet in there.
Isn't that amazing? Chinese and even
Exactly.
Japanese,
Right.
they'll acquire our type of eating.
And then that's when
And then
their
they-
health slides
Sure.
completely, right. Yeah, just in other words, even though we live here in the United States, don't eat like an American.
I want to get to the statins because
Okay.
you know, before we run out
That's
of time.
right. That's right. Right here.
Let's
it says,
do it.
talk about
breaking
them.
America's obsession with
The statin
statins,
drugs,
right
yeah.
there.
What's
Well-
bad about them?
Well, in my opinion, based on what I've read on research, they really haven't decreased our incidence of heart disease. They might advertise that they do, but it's such a slim and narrow thing. Plus, that category of medication is used for lowering cholesterol, comes with a bunch of potential evil, life-threatening side effects. So, you know, with like the commercials on TV, you know, they always say it's good for this, but then at the end it says, you know, may cause sudden death, or you know, it's kind of like,
I
why
know,
would you?
I know. Why would you take it?
Yeah, I'm not saying that specifically about statins, but you know, they'll affect your liver negatively.
So is high cholesterol the most dangerous thing for heart disease?
If you have enough risk factors, having high cholesterol can be. But I also know people that have had, you know, heart attacks and strokes that had very low cholesterols. I don't think cholesterol is the main issue. It's what happens to cholesterol that causes it to be evil.
Okay, we've got all these props up here.
Yeah.
Now, obviously your name is not on any of them.
Right.
You just go to the store like we do.
Yeah, actually,
Okay.
I can show you the receipt if you want.
Well,
But
what is
you
all of
pick
this good
these.
for?
Okay, I don't know if you want me to hold it or not. Citronol is actually a supplement that I use, and it's there's science behind it to show that it will help you achieve healthy cholesterol levels.
Okay.
I don't really have a cholesterol issue, but I take it as a preventative maintenance for cholesterol. Studies have shown.
You buy this where?
I bought that at my local vitamin shop. Citronol is the name of the ingredient. So like at the vitamin shop, when I bought my last one for myself, it was actually their brand.
Oh, my.
So when you go in there, you might see 4 or 5 different brands. But that is by far probably my favorite thing for anybody that has cholesterol concerns.
It says
And-
nature's
have to
way.
get
and it's inexpensive. I think it's anywhere from $15 to $18 for a month supply.
Okay, I got 10 minutes left. This is definitely from the vitamin shop.
Yeah.
Niacin.
Niacin. This is probably the oldest thing we have going back before prescription drugs for lowering cholesterol. Phenomenal stuff, but you want to use higher doses of niacin. You want to probably buy a time-released or delayed release, because niacin causes flushing. It causes such improved circulation that you feel like you're flushed. The only negative to the time-released niacin is it can negatively affect your liver, similar to some of the drugs, so you still would have to get some blood testing done. But this is,
I can't just go get this and start
you
taking
can.
it?
No, you could definitely do it, but I still would recommend if you're taking probably 1,000 milligrams or more a day, that you would want to get your liver enzymes
So
checked
you,
out periodically.
you write that down, honey? Niacin?
I will tell you
No,
though, when
I
you take
haven't yet.
niacin, it makes you feel like your skin's crawling. Cool stuff.
Wow.
I know it doesn't sound
Yeah,
cool, but
cool.
yeah.
I want to feel like my skin's
Does it
crawling.
make you
You
itch?
get used to it. After about 4 or 5 days, it stops, okay? Yeah, it makes you feel itchy. I know it sounds funny, but after 4 or 5 days, your body adjusts to it, and that doesn't happen.
So it apparently is getting into the bloodstream. Huh?
Yeah, it's great for circulation.
would
If you've
you
got
take-
cold hands, cold feet, one of the best things you can do is something like time-release
And
Well,
niacin.
why wouldn't I just take one pill with 250 milligrams
It
rather
won't-
than taking 1,000?
It won't really, you need high doses of niacin to really achieve that cholesterol lowering. It'll lower triglycerides, raise HDL, the good cholesterol, lower total cholesterol, the whole.
Now this is like garlic, but it says it's odor-free.
Yeah, it's odor-free to you, but when it gets into your digestive system, what makes garlic work for cholesterol is really that odor. And they've enteric coated it. They put a special coating on the outside of the tablet so that it doesn't dissolve in your stomach. So you're not going to burp up garlic, or
Oh,
you're not going to
wow.
have breath that smells like garlic.
They said you need garlic, didn't they?
I've been taking garlic.
Okay.
but I've
That
been
form of
taking 'em-
garlic has
I've
been used
taking
in
'em
Europe forever.
In a pill that's covered with foil.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, Garlese or Garlanese.
Yeah, but you want you definitely want one that is going to bypass your stomach acid. Stomach
Yeah.
acid will really degrade
Yeah, this
the
one seems to be
effectiveness
working
of the
good.
garlic.
Wow.
Awesome.
Okay.
Right?
And
Getting out of the heart now.
that's right. Now what is this?
That's Cranmax, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, it's
Yeah.
backwards to me. Yeah, Cranmax was one of my favorite supplements right now.
Like cranberry?
Yeah, it's a specific extract of cranberry, and they've studied it head-to-head against low-level antibiotics for people that have reoccurring urinary tract infections. There's a lot of people. Reoccurring is really if you have one or more a year. That's considered
causes
reoccurring.
it?
And
What is it?
usually it's just a bacterial overgrowth. For women, maybe use of other medications, pH of the body can change, improper hygiene. There's a lot. The summer, like wearing bathing suits and things can contribute to urinary tract infections. But Cranmax has been shown to be as effective as low-level antibiotics, is what your doctor would normally say, take an antibiotic day after day after day to prevent them from coming back. The cool thing about Cranmax is it works as effective, but it doesn't lead to antibiotic resistance, which is something I'd love to come back and talk about sometime. In our culture here in the United States, actually in most areas around the world, we've been overusing antibiotics for years. Reoccurring urinary tract infections is one of those areas, and they've shown that this will still help with prevention, but does not kill the bacteria. It actually inhibits their growth. Kind of cool stuff.
Right.
It's not kind of cool.
Can you write that down?
I will after the show, Herman.
Yeah, right on.
Good. Okay.
Not right now.
What is this one?
That's a probiotic. Actually, I've got two on the table here, so that's how
Okay.
much I believe in probiotics. So we'll show them both together.
Yeah.
The probiotic CD is what I'm currently taking. The Flora Smart is what I usually take. Probiotics are friendly bacteria. You need them. I don't care who you are. You need them. Take them every day. It's part of my 4 foundational supplements. I think that from children all the way to grandma and grandpa, we need to take a probiotic. They're friendly bacteria. They're there to help you finish the digestive process. If you don't have them there, you could be eating the best diet. You could be taking the best supplements, but they're not going to be broken down into the small particles that you need to absorb. So, and it's so funny how many times, to me, it's like an additive to your gas tank. You get more miles per gallon and a cleaner burning engine.
Yeah.
So that's what you could expect.
What is this thing? For tea?
Yeah, we're having high tea afterwards. That is called a Neti Pot, and that is my Neti Pot. It's great for people with upper respiratory sinus issues, allergies. If you have chronic allergies, you use purified salt, purified water, and twice a day you would rinse out your sinus passages. You mind if I demo real quick?
Yeah,
You would basically fill this with lukewarm, purified water. I buy salt packets that are purified. You stir it together, so you've got a saline or saltwater solution, and then over the sink you put the tip of the Neti Pot in one nostril, leaning forward like this, and what happens is the water rolls up in through your sinuses, flushes them out, and actually will come out the other side. About halfway through, I'll stand up, I'll
Well, if
blow
we
my
have
nose gently.
If we have you on again, could you demonstrate that whole thing?
Sure. Actually, I did on, you're going to love this, I did on a major TV station in LA this past year.
And actually pour it out your nose?
Yeah. So it is one of those things, but
What does that
I use it
cost?
for sinus infections. I don't use it daily. You can buy the plastic one for maybe $15.
could buy-
This
I
might
like
be
that
20,
one.
25.
I like that one.
Yeah, this is, I wouldn't, if you take it, you have to wash it out because you still use this
No,
when
you
I
can
travel.
go ahead and keep it. What is this?
That's another one of my staple supplements. Inside that box are packets of loose leaf tea. Fluorescence is what a tea that is a gentle, everyday detoxifier of the body.
Wow.
You know,
So you get this in the same store?
yep, you can buy it already pre-made in glass bottles, or you can buy it this way, which is a little less expensive. I believe in detoxifying my body on a daily basis, and it helps my body prevent other diseases that might happen from toxin buildup.
How do you do that on a daily basis?
I make the tea, I drink it. Yesterday I had green tea, and I poured my 2 ounces of the fluorescence tea in along with my green tea and drank it.
You hear that, Linda?
Now,
Linda Opsahl?
I just realized I love peppermint tea, and it really feels good when it's going down.
It's very
too.
warming.
Yes.
Exactly. Peppermint is one of those supplements or herbs that is great for circulation. If you have
Well, that's
migraine
good.
headaches, if you have bad headaches and things like that, great. If you have poor circulation, cold hands, cold feet,
Yeah.
you just drink it, and within minutes, like you said, you feel that warming sensation.
Yeah, I just love it. Yeah.
Get your copy. This, I mean, he covers all this stuff. I mean, it's amazing. CoQ10, we didn't cover that, but it's great for you.
Yeah, I wonder.
Where's the CoQ10 up
Yeah,
here?
I don't know, because that's one of my things every day. Exactly.
And that's great for
Maybe
the heart.
that's why I might have run out and had to
Well,
go
you
into
could
my
have had
stash.
the whole table full.
And that's
I
great
mean,
for the heart too, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's actually it's probably the antioxidant if you have any concerns with heart disease.
You know, I know people are out there thinking, I mean, you could have all kinds of money in these supplements, if you went crazy. But so you have to pick out the ones that you
Well,
really need.
That one guy on that video that I saw, they had on the screen, he had just purchased all of these pharmaceuticals, and they had the price that he had just paid, over $700.
Wow.
And so people complain about this, and I'm going, do you know what pharmaceuticals cost? They're unbelievable.
Right. And I mean, I don't take everything that's on the table here.
Yeah.
But I just bring different examples. But I do take citronal every day. I do take a probiotic every day, and I do use the tea every day. And then I do take a form of CoQ10 that's for somebody my age. It's called ubiquinol.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely.
I'm glad you continued. Yeah, I take a form of Q10.
Yeah, not good. Yeah.
It's whatever your
I didn't catch
needs
that.
are. That's basically what it is. What your needs are. Is
Yeah,
what you would
exactly.
Take for
And
it.
I address that in the book. You lay down a foundation, just like in our in Christianity, the rock. You don't build your house on sand, you build it on
Share
a firm
Christ with
foundation.
somebody since you started right there.
Ooh, I like that one.
Yeah.
I can tell you right now, if you do not have a relationship with Jesus, it's time you start looking into it. There's so many things that happen in our life that we hold against ourselves, and just by having a relationship with Jesus, God will wash those stains away, and that forgiveness that God gives you, you can carry forward and not feel condemned for all the things we've done in the past. Even as I grow in my own Christian walk, I still stumble and fall, but I know I have a forgiving Lord because of my belief in Jesus. So if you're not familiar with that philosophy, I highly recommend you get involved with somebody or a church that does know Jesus, so they can open your eyes.
And your body can be as healthy as you could possibly ever make it. I mean, the doctor says to you with all of the tests, you are unbelievably healthy. And not know Christ as your Savior when you die, because we're all going to die. You do know that, right? Where are you going to go? Hey, you had a healthy body here, you look great, where are you going to go? Jesus Christ is the answer to that question. Trust Him. That's what I did. I used to think people were just saying the words, because they say it long enough, they might buy into it. But I found the relationship with Jesus Christ changes everything. God bless you. Bye-bye.